Hey everybody, we are back. So Erin is just attending to the wee one, and will be with us. Oh, somebody just dropped.
It was me. I'm
we just all swapped. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Now I need.
My Zoom decided it was like, oh, you're going live. Goodbye.
Well, you are now Shahid.
Haha.
You poor soul.
I jump in the river.
I am Casper.
All right, so let me see if I can figure this out. All right, Casper, you need to go over here. All right.
Ophelia, nice.
Mike, Eric, you need to go here. Okay, cool. Do I have her? And Ophelia needs to go down here. Nope, and over here. Does that work? That works. Hey everyone, we're back. I don't know what's happening.
I'm only here to cause chaos.
You are chaos. You are chaos incarnate.
That's why I play a rogue.
Hey guys.
I'm chaotic dipshit.
So welcome back to Evandel and the Tales of the Untimely Heroes. Oh, and we just lost our second player of the night. So he's gone.
Closing my door. I have a wireless headset. I hear you.
So I have a question to ask everyone. I made some behind the scene changes to audio, so I'm kind of curious what the mix is like. The players should be on equal volume with me and the music and everything like that. So if you guys don't mind, within the chat, just let me know how things are sounding. Other than that,
I'm here.
Hey, baby. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? All things
How
good?
are you? Yeah, just taking a little extra time getting everything transferred from work to parenting to here.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, of course.
Comic-Con.
Real life does that. Comic-Con? Did you say Comic-Con?
Yes, Neopets will be at Comic-Con.
And that means that you're going to be at Comic-Con?
Yes.
Which Comic-Con?
San Diego.
That's right. And that means that you're not going to be with us next week.
No, I'm not.
That's right. So Erin
That means I get to play Monster of the Week again.
Yes, that's right. Oh, are you gonna hook us up?
I could do another Monster of the Week.
And you might have some black up.
Right?
There you go.
Might have some what?
Clearly, you heard right.
What? Okay. Yes, a whole jug. This is iced tea. This is honey and lemon iced tea.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
mine too.
Yes, however, I plan on being actually sober tonight, so we'll see what happens. So
Sorry, Dad.
Alrighty, so let's get started with some fun facts. Tonight, the crew is journeying on a river, and thank you so much for the follow. The crew is joining on adventures. Wow. Okay, maybe I do need some alcohol because my English is even worse. It's kind of like throwing darts. You play better after like some beer. So anyway, as I was trying to say, the crew is currently on a river journey, and not too many river journeys have taken place in Evandel. That's mainly just because I suck at them. I suck at DMing them. But tonight things are possibly going to change, and with that, we may end up seeing something that had been kind of leaked in one of the earlier campaigns on this channel, and kind of a pick up a plot that has also been mentioned here. This is the first time that the players will actually come into contact with something that only existed in the first age. So we will see exactly what that means and exactly what happens. But every now and then the things from the first age do in fact make it back. What is the first age? The age of creation, even before humanoids were a thing. Having said that, who wants to take fun facts?
I'll start it off as usual.
Who are you, by the way? I'm Steve. I created this thing and I'm the DM.
Oh, wow. Nice to meet you. My name is Eric. I'm actually one of the players of this wonderful game. I'm playing your Warlock. With that being said, my fun fact for Shahid for the day is, so Shahid and family actually had a pet, and his name was Ezekiel. And Ezekiel is a blue macaw. And he was a family pet of, God, for quite a number of years. until the loss of Shahid's family, where then he couldn't bear seeing poor Ezekiel the blue macaw anymore, so he actually gave it away.
Oh, do we know where this macaw is now at all?
So he gave it away to an orphanage, but besides that, he hasn't seen it ever since. It's kind of a sore point for him, but he would love to see Ezekiel at some point. Just saying.
Okay. Blue macaw.
Some notes.
Demon-possessed blue macaw.
Find familiar.
All right, what else?
I only give like benign fun facts so that if Steve decides to throw one at me, I'm like, oh, cool.
Shahid came
Like, you're over here just giving him stuff for free, like all this stuff about your family and your pets and everything. I'm like, Casper was left-handed as a kid.
Yeah, but it'll come back to haunt you.
Wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose my right hand.
All right, man. So, speaking of fun facts for Casper, what do you got?
Casper one time stole a blue macaw from an orphanage. No, yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
Listen, I was out in the sun for 4 hours dealing with children. I'm just completely unhinged today.
All right, so we're just gonna leave it at that then.
Yeah. No,
But-
I have a fun fact.
Yeah.
And it's related to the river.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should I be taking notes again?
Can't swim.
No.
Say the words.
Yes.
Say it with your
actually,
chest.
that is what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it. It was gonna be my fun fact even
Okay.
before I knew we were going on a river adventure at the end of last session. Casper in his patrols would do everything he could to avoid going near the river because he never learned how to swim. It just wasn't something that he needed in the rips.
Really?
Yep, never learned to swim.
Okay.
In
Okay.
memoriam.
Can I go next?
Please.
Ophelia is a really good swimmer.
A champion swimmer and certified lifeguard.
Okay. Who else has fun facts?
That would be me. Hi, I'm Kevin Adams. I play Renault, and I have a fun, interesting little story about Renault's little fun facts in relation to what he did back at home. Since it doesn't really have much of a necessary, it's not really much of a necessary thing to have an Olympic-sized pool in the middle of space. The equivalent of that was going out on the chutes into space and imitating this as you have proximity to the gravitation. And Renault at one point would mess around with the dials whenever he had to do work, so it seemed like you would be bobbing repeatedly against the absence of space. So it was a lot like swimming, because his memories that he had of swimming were long forgotten since he worked.
That's fucking rad. That's
Forgot
cool.
to introduce myself.
Who are you?
I'm Mike. I'm a baby. Don't bully me. If I see anybody bullying me in chat, I'm leaving.
I'm gonna put this into the post edit. Only that'll be your actual intro to your thing. I'll edit this stuff. Erin, what do you got?
Ophelia is a really good swimmer.
Oh,
Hi,
that's a
I'm
good one.
Erin. I play Ophelia. She's a really good swimmer.
That's
Am I allowed to do that?
yeah, you can totally do that, of course.
Okay. Yeah, she learned how to swim as a child.
You're a woman of culture. All right.
Yeah.
Must have been
That's
nice.
it. that's all I.
That's
I've been-
And clearly she knows how to build rafts. And
Yeah.
what else?
She's very informative of the monsters of the world. No, just swimming for this time. I'm just, my head is full of Comic-Con stuff. So I'm
not a
just,
problem. Not a problem at all. We got you covered.
Can I change my fun fact?
Yeah, go ahead.
Casper's favorite serialized play is River Monsters.
I'm so fucking done.
You fucking
So done.
goofballs. All right, let's go in.
This is gonna be my last stream. We're gonna get kicked.
Water has been lapping up at the sides of your boat that you had taken out of the city now for several hours. The last thing you were able to see as you left the city was a hooded figure that didn't do anything as kind as a wave, but instead perhaps, oh, maybe it was a wave. Something of a tentacle came out from underneath a darkened hood. Well, here you are, now several hours in. The night is beginning to wane. What do you guys want to do?
Holding off as much as I'm not the navigator of this, Renault is surely doing nothing but tinkering and having conversations with anybody who would banter back at him related to the newfound things that he'd figured out now that he has a moment at his disposal to mess with his tools.
Who is manning the steering wheel? Right? It's a steering wheel.
No, it's not. No, it's not even a full-fledged ship. It's just a boat that you guys stole. You kind of like pushed it off into the water and hopped on. It's probably like a 16-foot sail.
Okay, and just to clarify, Marguerite's there.
Yes, Marguerite is with you. The dwarf is with you, Onyx Mantle, and Ethan Long is with you.
Okay. Does anybody know how to? Oh, we've been doing this for a few hours, so somebody has been. Who's been navigating?
I have taken some control over this, mainly because no one else was. I hope I'm still doing it right. Hold on, I gotta fix my voice. And he like lets go of the wheel just for a second and like starts making adjustments.
Shahid like quickly grabs her. No, I told you to keep you.
Shahid is now navigating. Thank you.
Apparently Shahid is now navigating.
That is something that is notoriously known as diffusion of responsibility, commonly known as a human trait when they don't want to do something. Good job, Mr. Ethan Long.
Why, thank you. I am learning as I go, as you said that I would, although my voice still bothers me.
You'll get the hang of it. It is very, very strange.
It can be hard to lose an accent.
So what's our plan for when we arrive? I feel like we've been a little bit presumptuous, thinking that we were just gonna land somewhere and figure everything out.
Well, it was better than the latter and getting killed by that mob. That was too intense. We definitely had to get out of the city. The Intelligarium has fallen. We didn't really have much of a choice. I think we made the better option. I fear to think of what's going to be left of Fallen if we ever do turn around.
Of course. Well, I will be houseless since that's up in flames when we left. So, what caused the mob?
Well, that's the thing. We don't really know. I was able to read the minds of the mob, and there was some dark, sinister voice basically pleading with them to listen and promising protection if they were to come after us specifically. They were moving as a hive mind. They all moved at once.
I went back just a little bit just now, and I seem to remember something. I wasn't me, but if my memories from this body are correct, then I attacked some people who left the building, but the method of my attack caused the building to catch on fire. Many of the people just started to gather around. But then, yeah, that weirdness of them being controlled start. Let me fix my voice.
Were they told, Shahid, or were they beckoned? Like, not strictly like, you will do this, this, and this, but like...
I feel they were not moving of their own fruition. I believe that whatever was manifesting within their minds was controlling them. It's very much like how when my dark passenger used to take over before I started maintaining more control over him, where your body just totally loses itself and your mind gets a little hazy. You remember things, but it's almost as if it were a dream.
Like enthralled.
Right. Like being enthralled. Absolutely.
If I remember correctly, that's a little better. If I remember correctly, we were running through the city, correct? And this was to get to the docks.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure out how this whole body works. I think you were correct. I detected the presence of a massive voice, something that was absolutely controlling everyone.
Yes, and that would back up what I had seen or heard, rather, which was a massive whispers guided by one louder whisper.
Yeah.
Although I couldn't understand.
There was something about... yes, this adjustment seems to work. There is something there, and it is absolutely of a controlling nature. It comes with a type of energy that I cannot easily identify. Renault, do you know anything about this?
I was while you were talking, I was thinking of asking your permission, of course, to run a diagnostic for different reasons than I had asked prior, to see if it was possible, if I could recreate your memory and data stores.
Sure.
To do an output, so everyone could see them. It's going to take a moment, but if that's all right.
Yes, absolutely.
You say you have the capabilities of channeling his memories, so we
into a visual and into an audio visual format. Yes. You definitely probably do not have anything like it, but it's actually kind of simple if you can tap into the proper waves accordingly. Mr. Ethan, I have to get into your ribcage. Yeah, let's work this way. I'm going to try to.
Yeah, let me get out from over here. Yeah. All right, let's go to the bow.
Shahid, please make sure we don't crash. Thank you.
Please make sure we don't crash.
I have to put this down. So I'm gonna see if I can basically try and do a thing for it.
Yeah, cool. Give me an Arcana check.
Gotcha. The total for that is a 26.
Fuck. All right. It's gonna take you a little bit of time. I mean, you're on a boat, etc., etc. So with that, you three, Shahid, Casper, and Ophelia, take it from there. Do keep in mind, Onyx Mantle is there, and so is Marguerite.
Casper, you've seen, I recall you talking about, remember the fire that nobody remembers?
Yeah.
Do you perhaps know of any sort of alternate timeline thing where this sort of also thing has happened before? Some mass mind control.
Is there any like mass hysteria events or that seem like they could be similar to this that I can recall?
Give me a history check as usual with advantage.
Okay.
Because your background.
History advantage roll. That would be a 19.
You remember a couple of times when things had gone awry in the city. There have been the equivalent of shutting down unionization of labor force, etc. That led to a riot. There have been a variety of other things, but there is one instance that does stand out, and it was about, if memory serves, no, it's actually, it's almost like it's on the tip of your tongue. And about 5 years ago, there was something there. But you don't remember too much about it because in the paperwork back in the constabulary, not much had been written. In fact, you originally found out about it because it was in the notes of a fellow constable on a report that he had filed that had nothing to do with it. It was just in the notes as a reminder to himself to write up something about the riot that took over half of the city that no one can remember.
Yeah, there's been, big enough city, you get plenty of, mass hysteria, sort of shared paranoias, but the one that really sticks out is, I've completely lost my accent. I'm off the rails here. The one that sticks out most to me is about 5 years ago. It's, standard, labor union. We get called in to break it up because, cuts into the profits of the higher ups. But this one was severe. It was not, a few textile workers getting together and demanding better pay. This, almost half the city was up in arms about it, and the only mention of it you can really find is in, footnotes and personal notes. There was no official details really put to the case.
No. The union riot is unrelated to the other one. Yeah, the union riot had taken place. No. That was probably my fault on my description. There were two incidents that you can remember. One was the union riot. The other one, there's no report on it except for a little margin note on a completely unrelated case.
Gotcha.
And you started to research it, started asking a couple of people, and there were now that you look back on it, these people had their memories wiped as well.
Yeah, there was a massive riot, not the usual kind of thing. It's hard to find any concrete evidence on it because the only mention of it I could find was written off in the side margins of the first draft of the report, really. So, but from what I can gather, it was about half the city. Just
half the city.
Half the city, yeah. But like everything important, it seems to have been wiped from the minds of damn near everyone.
And Shahid, you've been here for at least 5 years, right? And Ophelia, you've been here your whole life. Neither of you have any memory of any riot from 5 years ago that took over half the city. Unless you make, let's try it. It's gonna be very hard. All right, so it's gonna be very, very difficult. It's a DC 25 intelligence check.
Oh Jesus.
Do I get to make this?
Yeah, you're overhearing it, sure.
I'm just gonna roll a practice D20 here for a second. what is this looking like? That's okay. Well, that was a 10, so this is gonna be great. Okay, so intelligence check.
Yeah.
11.
Okay.
Yeah, no clue.
Yeah.
Never.
That's really difficult too.
That sounds terrifying.
Renault, just out of curiosity, what did you get?
I got a 17.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, 25?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, and none of the three NPCs have anything either.
It's amazing how these things keep happening, yet nobody seems to be able to recall it. If this were a couple weeks ago, I would call shenanigans. However, from everything that's happened for the past couple of weeks, I mean, it's actually now all started to trend.
The Okay. We forgot. I forgot 24 hours in the hospital. Two of us forgot 24 hours. You and I, Casper, 24 hours during our investigation. Half the city forgot to riot. Do you think that
The whole city forgot the riot. It's just half the city
Yeah,
was involved? Do you think that that whatever is controlling us is censoring us
Absolutely.
when we stick our nose where we shouldn't?
And the fact that, and now the thought is, we're just coming to terms with all of this being about us for the past couple of weeks. This has been going on all of our lives.
right.
in a,
Knowing that,
I'm sorry, go ahead, buddy.
right? Knowing that 5 years ago, this was still happening. This isn't something I looked into recently. I was looking into this around the time, and I was getting nothing. And it's becoming more and more apparent that there are avenues of investigation that this thing will allow. And I think the more that people forget about something, the more it's the right track that we need to look into. Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I mean this with all possible respect, Casper, but I just come to terms with something. It just seems like every single time we have something about the past, you're the only one who seems to remember. It's almost as if we're living on your timeline. I mean, as Renault may put it.
That's possible. It might also be that a lot of my time in the constabulary, I mean, you've seen it from the way most of the other constables treat me. I was not exactly a popular figure. I was not gathering my friends in the pubs and, sharing my secrets with them.
Well, is it common practice to suppress such information from the mass public?
I mean, there are plenty of things that we don't publicize, but
Would that
information on this scale, no.
Would that be one of them?
No, there would be no way that we could keep a riot like that
Right.
under lock and key. The only thing I can think is that this thing can't read our minds. It can only hear our conversations. So if I was looking into these things and not speaking about them with anybody, it would have no way of removing my memory of them.
So that's,
I was able
again, what
to
it
piece
is.
together my scraps, hold them in my head.
So the fact that you're retaining this information but never really speaking on it is allowing you to retain this information. Because I remember one of my theories when we were back by the fountain was that every time you think too much on something, it adds this stress, and then all of a sudden you seem to forget. And I mean, it just almost lines up more now. If you're suppressing that information because nobody respectfully was believing you or wanting to give you the necessary and proper respect back at the constabulary, then that was probably the very thing that was saving your memory. The fact that you were retaining them for yourselves, you weren't speaking your secrets out loud.
Yeah.
Or you were looking complacent, or not complacent, but like submissive. Because if whatever's controlling everybody is trying to keep people in line, if you're not stepping out of line, then you're not a threat. So if Casper wasn't saying anything, yes, then it would have overlooked him. So as long as there's a level of submission and passivity, then it's easier to, I don't know, what's the end game? To use us or what?
To if I'm learning anything from the Dark Passenger, which I hold, is, and I learned this from our last conversation, to hold any kind of relevance, they need us to be thought of. So why would whatever's controlling this not want people to remember certain factors of history?
It may have, in fact, something to do with a type of censorship that might be necessary for holding the space-time continuum together, considering it is overlapped many of generations, including ones that have not yet occurred, but are centralized on this current fixed point in time. It is a running theory based on the conversation, but those memories might have some effect overlapping with things to occur that may or may not be certain.
So like anchor points, like you were saying before.
Yes. That is again an assumption. I have to focus on this, so excuse me.
You seem to be hitting on something. I do have memories that are coming back. They're not mine, though. Is that okay?
It should be fine. I'm basically setting it up so that you can have a power output to make sort of a visual, what you would all call, well, you wouldn't call it anything. It would be magic. I call it a hologram, but you can call it whatever you like. One moment.
You're in charge.
Is it like when you shine a light through stained glass and it projects out an image?
Yeah.
No, that's nothing magic about that.
It will seem like that in a moment. And
Casper's feeling very smug that he managed to understand like one thing that Renault said in like the basis terms.
As your conversations continue and the night goes on, you can feel the hunger starting to take over, thirst and more also. Looking back over your shoulder every now and then, you can see the last remnants of the city, now quite some distance away, beginning to fade from view. Renault, after some work, you see that Ethan's eyes glow a little bit brighter. And he's like, I think I need to try to focus. And you can see like two beams of light coming out of his eyes. And he's looking down at the, let's say like one of the wooden benches in the boat. He looks down on it, and you can see that it is a completely blurry, two images overlaid each other, playing different things. But you manage to get it down until finally you have what seems to be a solid image of a building. In this case, Wheeler Industries, the inside. Is there something that you would like me to focus on or try to remember?
Well, that's actually a very good question. Any point in the time period in which you have observations that you think would be important for our observations?
Well, I don't know what this is. And the image shifts, and you see a large metal door. It appears to be a static view. And alongside the door, you see what appears to you, Renault, to be as like a panel of some kind where key card access or something along those lines, or biometric access might be given.
This is a fortress door.
Could you possibly go back? Hold on. And Renault's going to refine the work he's been doing with magical tinkering, which allows him to imbue an object to do light effects, nonverbal sounds, and static visual effects to increase what everybody sees.
One moment. I think I can adjust this. And he does so exactly, producing exactly what you need. You want me to go back, and you see like the image kind of remains static, but every now and then there's like a slight glitch. Now that it's running back faster, you can see somebody walking. Let's see. Somebody is like comes into frame and is making adjustments to apparently the eye area, and then kind of stands back and grabs a tool of some kind of a metal apparatus in the hand. Renault, you certainly recognize this. This is one of the tools of the orbiter stations. You don't recognize the tech at all, but judging by the clothing, it's probably one of the senior engineers that were most likely in charge of the simulant program. And he continues to fix things, and then you see him walk backwards in through the door, or walk backwards out of the door. I found more information about this, but I would have to go forward, and it seems to be more relevant to Fallen Drift.
Please.
You see the images now begin to fast forward. Now he comes in and he fixes things, and etc. You estimate there's a very long period of time of fast forward before anything happens at all, and then you see 2 Imperial guards come in. They then punch something on the chest panel of the simulant, and the chest panels haven't been used in ever. You then see the simulant go out. War! The simulant engages in war and is completely blown apart. And the next thing you see is the camera just laying on the side, looking at dismembered people all over the place. And then some time passes. The eyeball is then taken in a completely active state. Guy looks at it, and you just see like a dwarf in 7th age clothing, like a tech priest type of thing. Like take it and snip it, and then that goes blank, and then it comes back on at around the same height. And now you're kind of getting the picture that this isn't the first body that this brain inside of the simulant has had. In fact, there have been 3 iterations. This is the last one. The journey of this last one, however, is probably the most interesting. First off, the second was absolutely by far the deadliest of them all. You saw a simulant attack a base desert planet. It came down and just obliterated an entire village. You can see off in the background of fighters. You absolutely recognize laser rifles and other things like that, all transpiring. The simulant just bringing its arm up and unleashing holy hell until finally this thing gets completely blown from something that struck it in the flank, and again it landed on its side, and all you can see is someone with a bazooka on their shoulder in a wheelchair as they continue moving down the way.
Fuck you, I knew it. I was like, that's not Rise Against. Oh.
But then again, it is then reclaimed. With that, it then gets put into another body. You see yourself in the projection there for a quick moment, Renault. This is about 15 years ago when you made your way through training, or excuse me, about 15. No. I'm gonna say about 5 years ago. No, actually 7 years ago, because I have to remember your timeline. You see yourself coming into this place and just kind of like walking. You're being given a tour of the facility along with several other techs. And the majority of this is completely it's in a recording state. It is nothing. It fast forwards. Hold on, I think I have something. I see that this is you, but I am pulling up a file that seems to be, 1 second, this is going to be interesting. The image shuts down for a second and then comes back up. I believe this is something that we may have, well, you see it. Renault, you see yourself there looking around in here, picking up parts and like a wrench or what have you, a spanner, and going into other facilities, carrying boxes of equipment. You remember this. And then and then you exit the door. The entire camera shudders for a quick second. You have an idea as to what's going on, and then the door completely explodes. There's no sound whatsoever. The door explodes off of its hinges, and you can see smoke comes into the room. The camera then switches to a different view, in this case infrared, and you see infrared shapes running past the door, people all running and scrambling, and then someone comes in, and you recognize it as your old friend. He came in and he's trying to carry some stuff, and he like looks back out into the hallway where other people are screaming and running and more. He's taking a look around, and he accidentally bumps into the simulant, and the simulant begins to move a little bit. He then looks at it for a second and tries punching something, but can't find any buttons. This simulant has no buttons on its chest piece or anything along those lines. He doesn't know what to do. He goes out again, trying to carry some stuff, and you hear him crying, and crying out into just screaming for help or something along those lines, and then he disappears from view. Then shit gets real. You see like a purple ring of light come up around this and every single object there, as if the entire thing were being scanned. This is still an infrared view. I have another view of the same thing. One standby, please. He then rewinds it, and you see the exact same thing happen again. Only this time it's in some kind of like, I guess it would be like an infrared, not an infrared.
Ultraviolet?
Yeah, like an ultraviolet. Radio. Actually, let's go clear into radio. I have to turn this into a visual, but stand by. The walls disappear. You can see a massive thing moving, undulating somewhere around here, or somewhere around it in front of the camera. It seems to be simultaneously thousands of miles away and within 100 feet. All you are getting are like outlines of the being, of like an electrical or some kind of an energy shield that makes up its entire body. And then you see yourself go running by. You see your own aura come running by, as well as a couple of other people. And the simulant then begins to move forward. I need to change view back to something more visual. One standby. And then he does. He changes it. Smoke is now completely up. It changes it back over to IR, begins taking a look at heat signatures, and then the wave of energy occurs again. At one point, you see the camera now walking down a hall and turns right. A smoke-filled corridor, and we see Renault's back running down and then into an airlock that then closes. The simulant then stands up and in a corner, and then facing the hallway, your friend now comes up and goes right to the door and is banging on this. The smoke is so thick, however, he cannot see the simulant standing directly next to him. The simulant then raises its arm and blasts a hole in the fuselage of the ship, and that's how your friend got sucked out.
I remember that.
After that, the simulant then turns around, looks inside of the view, changes vision again. Everything solid immediately goes away again, and now energy patterns begin showing up. And we see your form now running out of that room adjacent in some sort of a suit, running down a hallway, down some stairs, etc., and moving forward. And it's tracing you the entire time. It then turns around, and you see its hand holding onto something holding onto a bulkhead to prevent it from exiting. But once everything had been completely depressurized, it just begins to move freely. And you can see status reports of things beginning to flip up and down, and you see readings of an energy that it cannot identify. And then something occurred, and you see a river. Standing alongside the river, it looks around, and about 50 feet away, we see Renault, also standing on a river some distance away. The thing looks down again, scans for life forms. You see an IR camera come up, and you see fish in the water and what have you, and also a small one on the riverbed as well. And then the body drops. You see the camera float for a second, look down at its body. The whole thing is completely intact. And instead, you can almost... I'm picking up an audio signal that comes with this. Let me play, rewind and play.
I can modify that for you. Give me one moment. I can
please.
assist.
You do. It just takes a minute or two. You manage to do it, and then there's a speaker, well, you begin to hear things. It's the whispers. The simulant is now down. Whatever was inside of the simulant begins to float up and away, and it sees a small object, a small living creature on the ground. 4 legs. It's a cat. And for a split second there, the 2 eye beams, you see, they separate, and you see 2 images. One of the continued image, and the other one inside the cat, from the cat's point of view. The cat then goes off, and you see it running over to Renault, and the whole mouth and everything like that. And then you see the cat go running through the city and all of its various escapades, which I can get to another time. He then refocuses the image back onto the floating thing, and I believe this is it. This is all I have. And no, it skips ahead. It skips ahead, and all you see is the inside of a closet door. And then it also plays where Renault then enters and uncovers it and finds it.
At the Wheeler Industries.
There is more information, but it appears to be somewhat protected. It's a little bit difficult to access. Maybe some additional work is necessary to decode it.
Once I go through a full analysis, or at least a translation of the things that have occurred here with the rest of my friends now, I would love to do that. Do what you can. Take a minute. I don't want you to overheat. I do not know the contingency plans for any fault that I may not have repaired for you yet. I want to make sure you're in tip-top shape, and then we can get to breaking those security protocols and getting that access to information.
I will work on that, absolutely. If you don't mind my asking, are we going to dock anytime soon? I'm getting kind of hungry. And upon that mention, yeah, you realize that you're all incredibly tired, dehydrated, and extremely hungry. In fact, headaches have started to take. This is something that's been slowly building. Renault, finish your statement, because then I have something I need you all to do.
I have enough for a set of rations for you all to partake in. It is a small amount. It is my only, nutrients available. You can split it as you like. I should be okay without passing out in the next 24 hours.
Thank you. I have a million questions.
Oh, you brought the cat.
It seems so.
It's here. I knew it.
On my stream right now. Come on,
Yeet
buddy.
it in the water.
Okay, bye, buddy. I love you.
Splash.
Nonetheless.
I don't know where to begin. I'll eat, and Ophelia will take a ration.
Well, you guys are going over the various thoughts and revelations that have occurred, that may have occurred because of what was just seen. You guys are beginning to feel, well, you kind of notice in each other, legs are bouncing, and faces are itching, headache intensifies. Every now and then it's like a tension in the back of the head, and then another one in the front of the head, and you have a feeling that you should kind of turn around, and that this place out here outside of the city is way too dangerous. But of course, you guys are heroes, so let's find out what you really feel. May I please have a Constitution save? This one's going to be hard. DC 20.
Oh my god, I got a 3.
Ooh, okay.
Can you retire digital
22.
device?
Nice.
Hey, same here.
There's no way I can save this.
Really? Okay.
12.
Shahid and Casper, you understand this is most likely due to food and what have you. Nonetheless, once you understand that your body is reacting in a certain way, you do whatever you do in order to calm down and kind of release its control over you temporarily. There are some
From the rips, I'm used to being hungry.
fair, yeah, totally
I was
fair.
about to say, yeah.
And this isn't my first time going on a journey, so it totally makes sense.
Renault and Ophelia, that pressure that you feel behind your eyes, it's almost like a sinus headache that begins to build up. It's almost as if your eyes themselves are filling with a fluid and are really beginning to ache. You can feel a pressure really behind it. There is also the notion that that the city, so far away, It's the only place that you have ever known. And Renault, this is a place that you have now called home. You guys understand that there is danger out here, and that is going to give you a slight bonus to perception. Renault and Ophelia, please make perception checks at advantage.
Is it the same? Is there a shortcut, or I just roll twice?
Mine was I just rolled twice, and my best one was 16.
Click on it.
My best one is 13. This
That's fine.
blows chunks.
That's absolutely fine. The shores are quite far away. You guys are pretty much in the middle of the river. The river itself is also fairly wide. First off, the two of you notice that there is, in fact, something alongside the boat underwater. It is at least as large as the boat. The two of you can see it. Furthermore, you also see several things running alongside, following the boat in the forest line. You can barely make them out. Moonlight is kind of hitting them, but not really. These things are ravenous. They look really hungry, and they're waiting for you to pull aside.
How much longer do we have? Because we've got company. Do you see in the trees? And also, don't.
Let's not go to anywhere close to shore. Also, what is that?
I was gonna say, don't look at it. Don't. Oh God.
Yeah.
Wait, so do you want me to steer closer to shore? Or do you not want me to steer closer to shore?
No.
You're both saying two different things.
I don't know what to do, actually.
I hope maybe we could fly. That would be nice because there's something in the water as well.
Don't be absurd. This is a... And he pauses for a minute. Can we fly? Hold on.
Meanwhile, the dwarf is like looking over. I don't like the water, and I don't know what the hell that thing is. Marguerite, on the other hand, I'm experiencing something of dread. I can't rationalize it immediately.
Perhaps I could direct your attention with a potentiality we may have. It is possible that with some of the riveting and metal work on this ship, we could actually charge it by standing on the wood. A defense mechanism, by putting a great deal of power within it, would electrify the immediate range of the ship in and of itself, acting as a conduit, only as a defense mechanism, however. It would take a substantial amount of energy to do, but that is only if we are attacked.
I was about to say I wouldn't want to provoke anything that's underneath us right now, especially
Absolutely
if it's
not.
through.
Now that they've pointed those things out, can we all see them, or is it?
Casper and Shahid, give me perception checks with advantage.
$22.
Okay.
15.
Casper, you're looking down on the water, and you can see large rocks that are, you're just going past, and, it's Shahid's doing a fine job navigating. He saw them, and he veered around them. But you don't see anything large. You do see, both of you do see, that a couple of bushes just moved over on the shoreline, but neither of them have described what they actually saw with people following the boat. At least I don't think they did. So you're not sure what to look for. Ophelia, did you actually describe in detail what was on the shore?
I'm not sure, but
No?
let's
Okay.
err on the side of caution and say no.
Okay. All right, so, yeah.
What exactly did you see in the water? Because I'm seeing rocks, but Shahid's doing a fine job getting us right.
I'm doing my best trying to
A
dock these rocks.
fish, a serpent, a shark, something swimming, something long and big. And
Right.
people, I don't think we're
People?
alone. Yeah, yes, maybe the mob contact with us.
Hungry-shaped creatures moving rapidly in our sight. Something to take into consideration. We systematically sometimes do not see the same things. So perhaps there is a way that we can all see these things. Mr. Shahid, your mirror, maybe that'll help? I do not know.
Shahid pulls out his mirror. Where are you seeing these people?
Yeah, I don't see it.
They're running along the wood line. Well,
How far away is the wood line from us?
They figure about right where you are, about 150 feet. It's very wide, yeah.
So Shahid's gonna try. I mean, it's pretty far to try to see something in a mirror, but he's gonna give one of these as he's staring and trying to angle it in the direction.
You see a dark forest, nothing of any real.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's too far away. 150 feet is even too far for me.
Be mindful, potentially, hallucinogenics considered. I have not had the proper medicine for maintaining nutrients in my brain.
Are you sure that it's you folk aren't getting a little queasy just because of the rocking of the boat? I mean, I could try to keep it steadier. I mean,
it is possible, but err on the side of caution, please.
Ophelia, right alongside the boat itself, there's a...
Ooh, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. Did you hear that? Did you? Oh, it like bumped right into the boat.
I didn't feel any bump. I would have felt it along the wheel.
Casper kind of like side eyes to Shahid, who seems to be doing okay, and goes,
Right. Maybe you guys get towards the center of the boat and try to catch a little sleep. Shahid and I can wake you up if anything goes wrong.
No, respectfully, this is the same sort of attitude you gave me in the basement of the hospital when you didn't believe me and said you were going to take me home to the hospital. So I'm telling you, I felt it. There was something that bumped against the boat. It wasn't a rock. It wasn't a plant. There's
right
something
under your feet of the wood, claw marks.
I will take you up on that, Mr. Casper, and Renault is going to walk and try to ball up and try to pass out.
Okay.
They only hear this? We don't hear this at all?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you? It's clawing at the bottom of the boat. There's something underneath.
I mean, you have to understand, as we're passing through this river, there are many rocks that are coming up. Some are, there's some shallow spots in this river. I'm trying to steer as close to center as possible, but unfortunately, I can't.
The boat, Ophelia, you saw something reach up out of the water and slap up against the side of the boat. Renault, this occurred the moment you laid your head back to try to get some sleep. Okay, so that did not work. Shahid and Casper, what had happened is Ethan stood up and put a foot down on the boat and just kind of went thunk.
Careful, big man.
Good. Oh, easy.
Did you see that?
Heavy foot.
Did you see that? There was
Ms. Moore, that was Ethan. He stepped heavy.
It was.
I watched him. I literally saw him do it.
Hallucinations, particularly of a paranoid nature, are a common side effect of sleep deprivation.
Marguerite raises her hand politely. I saw it too.
Thank you. I am so glad we have another woman on board.
She looks over.
So you can only see this if you have lady?
No, just
Renault season 2.
Renault season?
Unless, no judgment.
I'm not
genetically, technically, we're all partially women, but that is neither here nor there. That being said, there is something there. There is another connectivity in what we are seeing, but not at the same time. It might have something to do with our proximity to Fallen Drift, perhaps. Mr. Shahid, Mr. Casper, have you ever been out? I know, Mr. Shahid, you have, but Mr. Jephcots, have you been outside of Fallen Drift, and do you know of any ambient energies that may be felt upon leaving it? Perhaps that is something that has occurred.
This is my first time out of the city. Never left.
That would make total sense, though. I mean, you two have never left. Marguerite, have you left Fallen Drift? Are you from Fallen Drift?
I'm she seems terrified. She wants to hold on to something, so she's gripping the bench, and it's useless, but she's gripping something. And she's like, no, born and raised.
So, Fallen Drift creeps into one's soul. You're literally tethered to the land. The further away you get, it's trying to pull you back. It doesn't want to lose you. You're just another soul, another being that this entity, this Fallen Drift, is losing. It's actually now this makes sense to me. No?
But then why isn't it trying to pull me back? I think outside of yourself, Mr. Shahid, I believe myself to be older than Mr. Renault and Miss Ophelia. I spend the most time in Fallen Drift out of the three of us, but I'm with you. I don't see.
Right, but as older timers, you know that you've also stepped foot away from Fallen Drift, so your tether is not respectfully as you know.
I've never left the city. No, born and raised, stayed within the walls.
And as soon as you recall some of your own history, you remember that you were fired from the constabulary.
Marguerite, I would
fired.
hold on to Miss Ethan Long. That more structure and stability, considering if God knows what I'm hallucinating is attacking the ship right now, but it may not be, considering there's nothing actively happening.
Ethan is holding on to the gunwale and like looking over and circling the bow and looking around. I'm sorry, but I do not see anything in this water, and I can't see anything on the shore. It is too dark.
Ethan, your soul. Ethan, where are you from?
The city, originally.
Have you traveled frequently?
No, never.
Out of the city?
No. Not so for the body, of course. Oh, you're right, me. No, I'm born and raised. Like the lady said.
Yeah. Don't know. I just definitely feel that there's some kind of tether between you individuals who have stayed for longer amounts of time within Fallen Drift than individuals such as myself. I am thrown a bit of a curve with you, Mr. Jephcots.
Yeah, I got a weird feeling just now. Yeah, when we first went into the asylum, I got we lost that time, and I got fired from the constabulary.
You did?
But then we went back to the asylum.
We did.
And it was open again, and things were different. And then it turns out I was just on paid leave, and I'd never gotten fired. Right?
Well, that's what you had believed.
I went back there. People were treating me like I still worked there. I was talking to the captain. I was talking to the desk sergeant. I had my job still, but I don't know. I just remembered getting fired.
Renault, a dark shape rose up out of the water and ducked out of view just as you looked at it.
I am seeing things. Please, Ethan, one more time with the looking of that in that direction.
He turns
quickly.
around. Yes. I'm sorry. I don't see anything.
All right. I am definitely hallucinating. Fresh water. Can't go out and reach outside of the boat and get a drink.
Is there anything that can sink on the boat?
Excuse me?
Is there anything that can sink, not float? An object?
Ethan raises his hand.
No.
Not shoot.
Where's the anchor?
Not the anchor. No. Oh
We
God,
need that.
we don't.
We kind of need that to stop.
Jeez,
What exactly are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish?
I find like a.
I pull out a bullet and
Perfect. I cast light on it and I toss it into the water.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Everyone, you do the round begins to glow a little bit. You toss it, go think. You toss it overboard, and it immediately, as soon as you have both Renault and Ophelia, the two of you were looking at it, and something goes, just grabs it right out as soon as it touches the surface.
Nope.
Shahid and Casper, it was just like a largemouth fish or something along those lines. Okay. Renault and Ophelia,
They're delicious.
Maybe we can
You
get
s-
something to cook up.
you saw a head of a serpent of some kind, but no serpent you've ever seen before, come out, and alongside it, another one, and then another one, all connected to the same body.
Renault
Above
is
the wa-
actively panicking.
Above the water.
Just under the surface. Like the crest of its head was responsible for some of the waves in that area.
Okay, I'm gonna fucking go out on a limb, and I'm gonna point at it and shout "freeze" and cast suggestion. I don't think that's gonna work though.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Whatever. It's a wisdom DC 13. The
Okay.
only caveat to that is that it's I can magically influence a creature that can hear and understand me. So I don't know if it could hear.
What language are you
and-
speaking?
I think it's instinctual, so I'm
Sea
gonna say sea serpent. I'm gonna say
Loch Ness.
I'd say it was common, but if there's something that just bursts out of me out of like fear, I'll let you be the judge of that. But
Sure. Okay, you cast it, and there's you go ahead and role play it.
okay, did you see that, Renault? Did you see it? It's moving. Its head is going above it's
Nope.
breaking the what?
Nope.
Freeze!
No.
And you see this thing, like it just as it comes up and it swallows the round and it begins to sink the moment you said freeze.
I grab whoever's closest, Shahid or Casper, and I bring it like, look, and I go to like.
Careful near the edge, careful near the right, yeah.
And does
Easy,
he?
you can't have everybody on one side of the boat. You got to even it out.
Ethan takes one step to his left, and the whole boat goes.
Thank you, Mr. Long.
Thank you, big man.
So the end goal is for somebody on the other side to have seen it too. Does that happen?
Casper,
I'm looking right where she's pointing.
you saw now passing. There was like a log, like those rotten logs that you sometimes see. They're just so waterlogged that they're not even really floating anymore. It just you saw something just go under the waves.
Right. I've
Be very careful what you say, sir.
I'm not going to say anything about your mental state. I'm
Oh,
simply going to suggest a course of action for myself that might help us to solidify the current state of things.
I wasted a spell slot on you.
It was a fine piece of driftwood. I'm going to stick my hand in.
Driftwood.
That's what I saw.
From what I understand, many people tend to have many life choices based off of curvy pieces of driftwood. So do not feel like you've expended too much energy on something that would be passive.
You are not helping. You saw what I saw, and
I don't want to admit that I saw what you saw. That is why I am tying everything up, because I know what it's like to be lost in a vast seascape and not have the things that you need together. So I'm wrapping everything up in some form of netting or tying, and we are not going to lose any of it.
Okay,
As this is-
I have to ask this of everyone.
Yeah.
Shahid, which direction are you facing? Like, what are you looking at right now?
Oh, well, I'm trying to keep the ship steady,
Sure.
but I will, on the occasion, glance in the direction that they are. I don't necessarily know where they are in comparison to me at the wheel.
I imagine Ophelia is on the starboard side, on the right side of the ship. Mm-hmm. Okay, and Ophelia's like looking into the water there. Ethan would be on the port side of the ship or the left side, kind of balancing it out. Renault is also on the right side, and Casper was dragged over to the right side. However, the dwarf and Marguerite are on the left side. So there you go.
I'd be definitely looking over towards Ophelia and Casper.
Okay.
That's where the action is.
Okay, you got it. Renault? in this moment.
Renault has been freaking out this whole time, so he's kind of looking inward towards the boat. I'm guessing that would be more port, and like wrapping things up in case everything goes aboard because he thinks they're all about to die.
You got it, Casper?
Casper's still, looking where Ophelia was pointing. I think at this point he's kind of like tracking the piece of driftwood back behind the boat, like, right, yeah, I see it.
Okay, no problem. Ophelia?
I am staring Casper right in through his eyeball into his soul, and as he's like considering, my grip on him is getting tighter and tighter and tighter.
Okay, so since you're on the starboard side and you're looking at Casper, then you would see behind Casper, which would be the port side, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so only Renault and Ophelia are looking towards the port side of the ship, or in some way or another. Marguerite and the dwarf are watching madness unfold, and Marguerite is completely frozen in place. Having said that, Renault and Ophelia coming up on the port side of the ship.
Freeze! I'm gonna cast it again. And I'm gonna...
Casper, may I please have a dex save? Go ahead, Ophelia.
So I like with,
22.
Okay.
with my arm that I was gripping into his forearm, I'm going to like yank him down to like turn around and say freeze over his shoulder to look at the tentacle coming up.
Yeah, Casper, why were you able to move out of the way so quickly before you got socked in the face?
I think because I felt Ophelia like start pulling me in a direction, and like just fearing going over the edge, just like fully like shoved away towards like the dead center of the boat. Like, careful at the edge.
Okay, not a problem. Ophelia, what was let's role play it. Go ahead.
Okay. After I say freeze, did you see it? Did you see the tentacle?
And then,
I'm going to say something.
did you say fear, by the way? The spell you cast.
Yeah.
Freeze.
You
Freeze.
said
freeze.
Freeze.
you said freeze. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
God.
Renault, you see Marguerite is gripping the sides of a bench and is not moving at all.
Did I? Oh, fuck me.
I'm going to reach out to grab Marguerite as this thing is moving towards us, matching whatever speed that I see. I'm just going to grab her, and the faster it moves, the faster I move to move her away.
It got
edge.
straight down. Yeah, she looks like she is paralyzed.
Moving her out of the way. Whatever.
You got it. Yeah, she
actions
goes
I gotta do.
thunk, and just like
knew it.
lands on the deck.
It's ball.
Now, do we see it?
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
I understand things have been exceptionally stressful. I am not saying anything bad about you or Mr. Renault's consciousness. What I'm saying is you damn near threw me over the edge of the boat, and it seems that whatever you were intending to stop, you stopped Miss Marguerite.
Two
Wait.
spell slots.
There is-
Two.
Right then.
Casper's gonna like tie a rope around himself, throw the end of it to Shahid, and then go over to the side of the boat and like stick his hand in the water.
Well, but just keep in mind, we're talking about that's maybe 6 feet wide. It's a 16-foot vessel, but yeah, you can just probably go here.
Right, yeah.
I would have broken concentration by then anyways, so I don't know if that breaks the spell.
We're gonna say it does if you wanted to. It is concentration, so.
Okay.
Renault freaking out and probably less gripping on Marguerite now that she is away from the area where the thing that I saw was there.
And now loosening up.
Yeah. So, I think either we are seeing dangerous things happening and you are not, and you are under the hallucination, or we are under the hallucination and nothing is wrong at all. with both things under consideration, I say be very mindful. I will passively ignore the best of my self-preservation would warrant to absolutely go to sleep, rest myself, and perhaps maybe not listen to all the terrible things that happen until I hear, Shahid or Casper say it, maybe?
I've spent most of my life as a constable. I trust my senses completely.
I'm still going to listen to Mr. Long before everyone else, considering he has a different form of sensory interpretation. Nonetheless, please be mindful. I am going to possibly inoculate myself to lose consciousness, and he starts to look for things.
Yes. I mean, respectfully, we've not had sleep in quite some time. Food has been incredibly scarce. We are out of this water. The waves could make one quite nauseous. Both sides, whether we see such anomalies or not, we don't know what's true right now, except for the fact that we do need rest. So I do feel that we should possibly take shifts taking rest while others keep watch, so you can at least regain some composure. So we can regain some composure, because just like you said, we could very well be clouded in our thoughts and not see anything, and it actually some eldritch horror. So
that is what I see. Oh, do you see it?
No, rest.
Oh, it's hypothetical. Yes.
Okay. So deflection and denial is our go-to. That's fine.
You're talking to a man who literally has an entity living inside of his head. With respect, I believe everything you're saying. However, I believe that your reality is different than mine at this current point in time, and I feel that all of us can just use a rest.
Right. I believe that you saw what you saw, but I'm going to get some hard empirical evidence of something in the water or not. I'm sticking my hand in that water.
I would like to do a weird request to Steve.
Yeah, what do you got, man?
Ethan Long, could you do me a favor? Perhaps could you check your time? It's a little time analog thing that's going on. Do you have access to the other visual processing unit that is on your network? Do you have anything like that? Can you see other recording devices?
I don't think I understand.
So you can log time as it goes by in certain intervals. Can you see if there were any breaks in the recent 10-15 minutes? Perhaps an anomaly of sorts on the temporal level?
So you want Ethan to do a replay of what's recently happened and see if there's been a time jump in our eyes in comparison to what he's recording about the current time?
Yes.
You are making total sense to me. This water is truly doing something fierce. Okay.
There does not seem to be any real loss of time, but I was conveniently looking in other places whenever Ophelia and Renault saw something. So I don't notice anything weird. I just wasn't looking in the same direction that they were when they witnessed whatever they did.
All right. Yes. Then I am surely losing my mind. I need nutrients and I need rest. We do not have anything to eat. Let's fish. Yes, fishing. That's what I'm going to do now. Let's catch this terrible, horrible things that we see in our minds. Places. Yes. Let's start this.
You
now.
see a tentacle rise up out, and then the bow of it just off of the gunwale on the side of the ship that you're on. And you see it's just this long, black, slick thing that's just going right through the water.
Either I'm going to eat you or you're going to eat me. One of these things. Let's go. Let us go. And Renault's going to take a makeshift bit of string that he has in one of his kits and make like a really subpar fishing rod and just start fishing.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Give me 2 rolls. The first of which we're going to do. So you're an artificer.
Yes.
What would you typically roll to create something?
If it requires a lot of dexterity and physical stuff, I would roll. I have one roll for that, and if it's just mechanically making it, like in level of intellect, I would roll my special roll.
Yeah, roll that.
Okay. A 28.
Great. You make like the world's best fishing rod out of like plastic straws and rubber bands. And then, okay.
Sweating the entire time.
Now give me a dex check.
Oh, that's really bad. 7.
Okay. Ophelia? Mm-hmm. Just as it lands, well, all right. You go, zzz, ka-blink, and it lands in the water. Okay? You see this thing surface just about 6 inches over the water, and before it goes back down. It then disappears. Ophelia, you see it. It's there. It's under the water. You also see it rising up just to Renault's left, just outside of the gun wall. What's your AC, Renault?
20 with reaction.
Did you roll a...
You can. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, yeah, you can. And
That's a natural 20.
That's a nat 20.
Nat 20. So there is absolutely a out of the water, and it's just off of like Renault's left side, hooks around his neck as thunk. You guys just see Renault's feet go directly overboard, and Renault goes right into the water.
No!
Oh, no, you don't.
Given that I already have the rope tied to me, I think I dive in as well. And I go, Shahid, please hold that.
Ethan, take the wheel! And I quickly grab the rope, and I'm gonna sit on the ground, and I'm gonna lean back and put my feet against it, so to counterweight.
Okay.
Casper jumping in.
All right, you got it. Ophelia?
I dived in as soon as that happened. I dived in.
Okay, wow. Okay, cool. All right. You guys managed to get in there. Who has Ophelia? Give me an athletics for a swim check.
She...
Athletics is the worst.
And the same thing for you, Renault.
Oh, that's the worst.
Mathletes.
Oh, man. I rolled a 2, but the result is 1.
Oh, shit!
He's just in the water. I didn't even
Ophelia dives in. Renault, what did you get?
I rolled a 2. I want to reiterate. I rolled a 2, but the result is 1.
Fuck! So the two of you have dirty ones. Oh my god.
I don't have a dirty. I rolled a 16.
Oh, it's 16. Oh, I thought you said you got a 1.
No, I got a 16.
She has a +1.
My fun fact of the day is Ophelia is a good swimmer.
All right, fair. Totally fair. All right. Ophelia dives in, and you can see Renault quickly descending. He's going directly under there. You manage to dive down under the water. You start feeling around, but you also know that something is down there. May I please have a wisdom save from you, Ophelia?
11.
11. You feel a thump up alongside your body, and something's rubbing up alongside it as you continue to go down. The light is not good at all. You can't really see where Renault is. May I have a perception check with disadvantage?
Yeah. Oh god, it's gonna be that 3 I just rolled. Oh, my only nat 20. It's a 3.
Oh, you got a 3. Okay.
Yeah. It's just
You rolled a 1 and a 20.
Oh my god. Okay.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Not good. All right, you are under there. You're trying to you're doing the best that you possibly can to like swim down, but you know that something just braced up against you, and now you see coming out of the darkness, moving towards you at a it's either very small and moving towards you rapidly, or incredibly large and far away. And all you see is a circle of teeth beginning to come closer and closer to you. You can. And what was your perception again? With disadvantage?
a 3.
You cannot find Renault. Ophelia?
Yeah.
What was the wisdom save?
11.
you can feel panic. There's simply not enough air in your lungs for this.
Okay.
It begins to grip you. Survival mode starts kicking in. What are you doing?
I'm gonna kick my way up, but I'm going to, in a last-ditch effort, muster up all the courage I can to kick with my boot at the mouth coming towards me.
It's still some distance away. It's just opening up. Yeah, it's not within range yet.
Oh, well then I'll give it the finger and I'll swim up. I'm gonna panic kick up.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be able to find him.
Okay, not a problem. You manage to come up out of the water with and you're gasping for air. Take it from here.
I can't. He's down here somewhere and something is behind me. I'm like paddling. I can't find him. I don't know where he is. Help me up.
You're muted, Eric.
You're muted.
I'm gonna hand the rope back to Ethan and be like, Ethan, grab onto this. This has Casper on the other end, and I'm gonna try to reach over and I'm gonna try to grab Ophelia's arm, if she would allow me, and try to pull her into the boat.
Okay, give me a deck save. And Casper, what are you doing?
I jumped in after Renault.
And what was your swim?
You didn't ask me to roll one. I can roll it now, though.
Yep.
Do you want me to roll it with disadvantage because I don't know how to swim?
That is going to be reflected in your athletics. You really don't know how. Yeah, go ahead and
That
roll
was
it
my
with
fun
disadvantage.
fact.
Yeah, it was.
I'm no bitch.
Don't be a coward.
I suffer the
Clearly.
consequences of my choices, and
Clearly
they're
I
always bad ones.
What do you got?
I rolled a 6 because I also rolled a 1.
Yeah, you dove in, and when you were about 15 feet under, you're just doing this, trying to like move underwater awkwardly.
Oh, I'm just sinking.
Yeah, you're kind of like doing.
I didn't take off my rapier, my dagger, my coat, or anything. I just.
Oh God. Okay. Renault, I need you to make a Constitution save. Ophelia, Shahid.
I got a 13.
Thank you. Ophelia, you see Shahid's hand coming out towards you. Give me a deck save.
I'm good at that. 21.
Yeah, the rocking of the boat and everything else. Shahid's arm is doing this, and you manage to reach out and you manage to grab it, mainly out of fear. You understand, this thing is about to eat you, and it may have already gotten Renault. Speaking of Renault, what's your con save?
5.
Renault. You go black. Vision disappears. Casper, I need a con save from you.
In the meantime, Shahid's gonna start taking off his jacket. He's gonna drop it on the ground. He's gonna take his hat and he's gonna hand it to Marguerite, and he's gonna say, "Don't lose this." And I'm gonna go leaping over the edge and try to go towards Renault.
You got it. And I assume Casper. They both went down in pretty much the same area.
Casper should be connected to a rope that Ethan is holding in his hands.
That's right. Yes. That is true. Ophelia, you managed to get pulled back into the boat by Shahid before Shahid then dives in. Athletics check, swim.
For who?
Shahid.
That's a 15.
Oh.
Yeah, you absolutely. Yeah, you go in. You dive in. You start taking a look around. Give me a perception check at disadvantage. Unless you have something like dark vision or something.
I have Devil's Sight that I can see up to 120 feet in both magical and non-magical darkness, my friend.
Damn. It's your fun fact.
Yep. Give me a perception check with advantage.
Ooh, cool. It don't matter because it's a 7. It's dark as hell in here.
Yeah, there is something about the quality of this water that is obscuring
There's
some of your vision.
So much kick up from everybody going up and down.
However,
the bubbles in my face.
Oh, absolutely. However, you can see Renault about 20 feet away, or at least the shape of him, completely unconscious. You're gonna go down and
Absolutely.
All right. You manage to grab onto him. Your ability to swim is good enough where you can get right down there. You manage to grab onto him, and now you start coming up. I need you to make one more swim check. However, this one is going to be at disadvantage due to the additional weight. Meanwhile, Casper, you can feel the line around you go taut. and then you feel yourself getting pulled back up out of the water. Shahid, what's that roll?
Disadvantage is at a 7.
Ooh. It's extremely difficult with Renault. You're going to spend this turn trying to reorganize how you're going to do this. Your breath you're okay for now, but we're going to say that you're only moving up at about a quarter of the usual speed that you would. You might be able to get up to the surface in time before you run out. The question is whether or not Renault is going to make it. Renault, I need a con save.
Yeah, as he's doing that, what Shahid's gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to be dragging his body like up mine, and I'm gonna be pushing his. So like I'm kicking with my feet. And I'm like basically have my hands like on his rear, on his ass, and I'm like trying to swim and push. And my main objective, and I'm trying to use all the energy and air that I have in my lungs to make sure he surfaces well before I can.
You got it. Okay. Renault, 10. Second round of unconsciousness. Shahid, we're going to advance you into the second round. Casper, you get pulled up onto the boat rather forcefully, and you land with a crunch of a wooden bench. Shahid, give me another swim check with disadvantage.
And I cast Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going, as I'm coughing up water, I'm going to shout like desperately in panic mode to see, hopefully, that Shahid can hear me. Find Renault! And I can't scream it, obviously, but that's how. Loud.
We like that. What do I roll with it?
That is a D8.
Oh, this is going to be great then. Like, and this is no sarcasm. That's a 17 plus 2, 25. So that's a 19.
19, yeah.
Yeah, Shahid, the boat just happens to be passing by something rather large in the water. You might be able to grab onto it just to propel yourself up a little bit more. You realize that it's also kind of moving past you, but you manage to grab onto it and yeet yourself out of the water. Renault manages to break surface. Casper, I know that you're now catching your breath. Onyx Mantle comes over to the thing. Come on, bring him over to me! Oh, Christ, look at it, he's sleeping. And he reaches over and he tries to grab Renault. That's a nat 19 plus 2 strength. So 21 reaches in, pulls him up and out. Renault, you're now on deck. Shahid, you come out and you feel something go thunk right past your foot. And the dwarf now reaches out, grabs your hands too. Marguerite comes over and pulls you up. All right, you guys are up. Renault is unconscious. Casper, you're just now coming back.
I'm gonna try to rush over to Casper, and I'm gonna lay him on his back, and I'm gonna try to just immediately reach up to his diaphragm and press down as hard as I can.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
Give me a medicine check.
I meant Renault.
I'm just acting.
I slapped Casper and
I inhabit my character. I'm yes-anding.
Yeah, just go with it, guys. Just get fucking it. That was awesome, actually.
So what did you need me to roll anything?
Yeah, medicine check, please.
Got it. So this is just a flat roll for me.
Yep.
So only an 8.
Okay, so Renault needs a little bit more work. So yeah, you're working on it some.
Now that I've caught my breath, I think I'm going over to try to assist Shahid.
Okay, Marguerite will also join in. Hold on, turn him over on his side. Turn him over on his side so that the water can come out. Right, medicine check. Dude, I got a nat 18. All right, I'll go with that. She makes a medicine check. Is she a medical doctor? No, she's not really a medical doctor, but fuck it. She understands a little bit. Turns it over. The combined effort, Shahid, you manage to now you're like compressing the stomach from the sides. You see water begin coming out with each press, and then finally, Renault, give me last con save. 10. good enough, your eyes begin to flutter open and you feel the cold night air rushing into your lungs, but there's also a tremendous amount of gurgling occurring as well. You're muted.
Because I was making very terrible sounds. I wasn't sure if anybody objected to that. But yes.
Thank the stars.
Did I catch it, or did it catch me?
It caught nearly all of us.
Love, please don't do that again. Please don't do that again. Hey, lad, you almost became the bait.
Yeah.
Shahid, you all right there?
I got something. Yeah. I got something. Something pulled me.
Ah, you got water in your lungs.
But how did I get there? It's proof that there was something that pulled me in, whether it is... I need breath. Hold on.
When I was coming up, something did run against my leg, but I couldn't see what it was.
We're gonna go ashore. I think we need some rest and safe lodgings.
Yes.
Ethan steers the boat while you guys are beginning to recover. He manages to pull off, and you can see what appears to be a small shack with a dock hanging out. The whole thing is rather ramshackle, but nonetheless, he does fairly well, kind of bangs into it a little bit, but hops off and manages to walk the boat in.
Do I see any of the mob that we had seen earlier? Not the mob, the things that were following us?
No, but your vision is also a little bit blurry right now. The headache is pounding. Renault, you as well. You've been unconscious. You've got a massive headache. In fact, sounds, light, and other things. You're like coming down with something very similar to a migraine.
I know those.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I want to attempt to use the rope that we were using to pull in Casper, and I want to just try to tie off the boat to the dock to make sure that it doesn't drift off. Absolutely,
yeah, you do. Not an issue at all.
All right, let's go onto land. Let's find a safe place to make camp, or maybe go towards that shack there, and maybe hold up for the night.
You guys do?
Is the shack there? Can you confirm that it's really there, or if it's not the mouth of a terrible creature? Okay.
We can all see the shack.
All right.
Yes. I'm gonna put back on my jacket. I'm gonna take my hat from Marguerite and say thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, here.
And then try to lead the way for the party to go towards the shack.
The 7 of you walk inland. Ethan is staying on your outside after hearing Ophelia describe that things are in the woods. This seems to be a fairly decent place, but I also see signs of recent activity in this area. He looks down at the ground and points, and you can see fresh footprints going directly into the shack. And then you hear something moving around inside the shack. We're gonna take a quick 5-minute intermission. Yeah?
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. We'll be back in 5.
See you in 5.
Eventually. What the hell just happened here? There we go.
You started the stream over.
Hey everyone, we are back. Food in hand and in mouth. We're getting nom noms. Now that you are back.
What a weird sentence.
My favorite meal.
Nom noms.
Nom-noms.
What are you drinking, Mike?
This is wine that I won in a church raffle. I won. It was a tricky tray for the church that I grew up in that my mom still works for, and one of the prizes was a basket with, I believe, 14 bottles of wine, and I put
14.
me and my girlfriend put our tickets in that basket, not expecting anything to come of it.
Hold
and
up.
we won
How big was the basket?
It's pretty big. I use it to keep like my PlayStation controllers and stuff.
I was about to say, you mispronounced barrel. 14?
Yeah,
14
we've been.
bottles.
I'm not Baptist Raffle. I grew up Episcopalian, and as the saying goes, wherever there's 4 Episcopalians, there's always a 5th.
Oh, and so you like fish like I do?
What?
We're alcoholics.
Well,
Oh, good. That was funny.
What is this game? D&D?
yeah, something like that. All right,
Never heard of it.
we are back.
Supposedly.
The 7 of you. I'm trying not to talk with my mouth full. Show me how to
Every time
talk
you're
with.
eating, I get to pull the stream further off the rails. Like you have this beautifully crafted adventure, like this flowing river that pulls us downstream, and every time you eat and have to be quiet, I get to pull us further into the woods and go, look over here.
The eldritch horror.
Oh, I just went so out of focus.
What happened?
I don't know, I'm so blurry.
Dude,
It's autofocus.
Hit your hand, or hit your hand, yeah.
Well, you're an apparition now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I literally picked up my new camera today.
Casper really is Casper.
Maybe turn on autofocus. There you go. Nope.
I'll do the stream from here.
Oh, turn your video off and on again. Turn it on and off again. Turn your video on and off again. Maybe that'll work.
There you go.
Hey,
Yeah.
All right.
without fail.
So,
This stream,
High quality content, y'all.
we
This
are
is what you came for.
professionals. I'm not a lifeguard. I'm a streamer.
we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
You did it.
Fuck you, Mike. We're back. All right. You get out of the boat. You're on shore. There is a small, like, shack. No light coming from the inside. Vertical wooden boards, barely touching each other. If there was light, you'd be able to see it. You start coming around, looking for a place. Ethan says the place looks safe, and then you hear something in the shack. It moves. You hear a hard boot footstep, and then a creaking door. And coming out of it, you see the barrel of a blunderbuss inching the door open.
At this point, that's not a bad way to go.
Stand still. I'm gonna blow you to kingdom come. Who are you? Why are you here?
We came out of the city because we are being chased by something that we don't quite understand.
You see him pull the hammer back as soon as you say the city. Then get back where you get from. Nothing that comes out of that city is good.
Well, first off, might I say, fuck you. But second off, I almost died twice in the past 24 hours. Please, looking for some human decency is all I ask.
There's no decency here to be had. As I said, anyone that comes out of Fallen Drift, not right in the head. Get back in the boat, otherwise I'm gonna waste one of you. Marguerite kind of stands in the back. The dwarf is like looking around for answers, waiting for something. Ethan seems to be inspecting the weapon with a tilted head. His eyes are incredibly dim.
Ethan, it is a very primitive version of a riot shotgun. Let's go. I'm going back. Renault's gonna start walking back.
I just ran a chemical analysis, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of smell of saltpeter within it.
So you're
And
saying
the
there's
man
no...
turns and looks looks right at him. He's like, "What the hell are you?"
I think Casper, having been a gun user for most of his life at this point, understands what that means, and he's gonna draw his rapier and step closer and go, "Right then."
And he's stand back.
I trust my friend there. That thing's not loaded.
Give me the insight check.
Sure. Insight check. Dirty 20.
Oh, Jesus. He's absolutely bluffing. You recognize this weapon probably hasn't fired in a number of years. Hell, there's dust on the inside of the barrel.
Right. 7 of us. One of whom is, I point at Ethan and I go,
Dangerous.
a lot tougher than you'll ever be.
Hello. I mean you no harm, but I must disarm you. And he just walks forward and like puts a metal hand out, and the guy's like, and he watches metal on metal as the gun, he's like slowly releases it, realizing he's completely outnumbered. I ain't got much.
We're not robbing you. I'm a fucking cop.
But that's never stopped the police before.
Well, it stopped me, all right?
I
Believe it or not, some of us are good people.
I guess we're the ones who are offering decency this time. I'm very tired. Please just let me lay down.
We've really been through the ringer here. All right?
I don't have anything of value, or I only have fish for food.
And we'll pay you for the fish. We're not robbing you. We're not taking advantage of you.
Then what's wrong with you? You say you come from the city, and that tells me that something's wrong with you.
There's something wrong with the city.
Right.
And that's why we're trying to get as far away from it as possible. It sounds like you're very familiar with such an action.
He looks at Shahid, looks over at Renault, then at Marguerite, the dwarf, stands away from Ethan, looks back over at Casper, and then finally back on Shahid. Ophelia also looking completely just done for tonight. All right, come on in. And he turns, goes inside, and you clump, and there's a flicker of like a tinderbox. He lights up a lantern, hangs it from a hook hanging from the ceiling.
I have 2 questions.
He looks back.
What is your name? I'm Renault.
Virgus.
Virgus. And the second question is, do we take our shoes on or off when we enter this place, even though it doesn't look that clean?
He looks down at the dirt floor of the shack.
Sacred earth counts.
Leave him on.
All right. If there's anything soft nearby, Renault is passing out on it.
You see a clump of clothes shoved off on one side of a cot, and there's the cot.
You decide whether or not I make it there.
You made it.
Going towards one of them.
I'm gonna be. The guy looks down at Renault, turns back around, and opens up a wooden box. He takes out some very sturdy, flaked, dried fish. If you have a drinking vessel, there's some clean water in that barrel there, and hands it off to you.
As he's speaking, I just want to take a silent look around. Does it look as if only one person inhabits this?
Yeah.
Like, is there only like one pair? Okay, yeah.
No, but as you're looking around, you see that there are like 2 machetes, a pitchfork, tons of tackle equipment, and other things like that. Apparently, he makes all of his own flies, and you see a small little fly station there.
Fergus, how long have you been out here by yourself?
7 years.
7 years. What drove you out, if you don't mind me asking?
I didn't come from the city.
No?
No.
Where do you come from?
This area used to be a village in the way back. They went a little bit crazy about 5 years ago. I separated myself from them about 2 years before that. Came out here, wanted to make a living on my own.
And I'm assuming you've had some trouble with city folk, given your natural reaction.
City folk constantly escaping Fallen Drift. They come down this way and they come looking for some kind of salvation away from that accursed place, and never bodes well for me. I've been robbed 15 times.
I see. That's where we're different. We're not looking for salvation from Fallen Drift. We're looking for salvation for Fallen Drift. We just needed to find somewhere we could take a respite and then return to the city. We don't plan on fleeing.
You one of those religious folks?
No.
Or
Nothing like it. I'm a constable. That's my city. Those are my people. I owe it to them to do what I can to protect them.
I understand. Well, what about her? And he points to Ophelia. Renault is already passed out on the man's cot. He's looking at Ophelia, who looks like she's about to pass out just as well. He reaches under the cot and takes out like a very thin, you know how camp mattresses are incredibly thin and easily folding in half? He pulls one of those out and just lays it out on the floor next to Renault. Ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
He's, well, all right. What kind of coin you got? I don't have much reason to buy anything around here, but every now and then I go on a supply run to some of the villages in the north. If you don't mind, a couple of copper should be able to get me up that way and allow you to pay your way here.
Shahid reaches into his pocket and pulls out a couple copper. Well, I have the coin of the realm, and he gestures back as if pointing towards Fallen Drift. If this will suffice.
It's more the metal that's valuable rather than the stamp that's on it, but yeah.
Understandable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hold on. He kind of like rubs his hands on his shirt and goes outside. All right, I've got today's catch. I'll start a fire outside, and what is that? What does that thing eat? I have a name.
That's Ethan. Ethan Long.
Hello, nice to meet you. He goes about his way, and after a couple of minutes, managed to get some fish going on a spit over the fire. I'll feed you guys. You allow me a good night's sleep. I'll allow you guys a good night's sleep. What do you say?
Shahid nods, and he's gonna like take off his boots and jacket and hat, and he's gonna place it by the fire to try to get dry. And he and sits down.
So, you're coming out of the city.
Yeah, it's been quite rough for everybody involved.
I can only imagine. I'm sorry that I pulled a gun on you guys. I don't trust anybody that comes out of this area, and I mean, you guys haven't killed me yet, so.
Respectfully, if I saw us coming at us, I would have pulled the gun as well. So,
I appreciate
no harm.
That. Casual conversation. Initially, it's small talk, but then as the couple moments pass and as the steam from your clothing begins to come off, indicating that slowly in front of the fire it's beginning to dry, you guys, everyone who's around the campfire, also notices that there's a lot of twisting and turning inside the shack. A quick glance in reveals that both Renault and Ophelia are still awake and trying to get comfortable. But every time you guys lay your heads down, there is yet again something just on the outside wall.
Renault, please tell me you hear that. Renault, are you avoiding it again? Please tell me you're not avoiding it. I feel like your silence is deafening. Renault! Do you hear the scratching sounds like I do? Don't tell me I'm the only one hearing them.
You don't hear anything.
If I say yes, can I go back to sleep?
I want to say no, but that would be rude.
I was asleep, so I did not hear the scratching. I am so hungry.
There's a hold on for a second. The guy gets up from around the campfire, goes over inside, and tosses some flaked fish over at Renault, some salted dried fish. Wouldn't be so. He stops talking to those two, comes back outside, shuts the door partially, and looks at you guys. They're not going to get any sleep. I've seen this before.
Truly, has it been from the individuals who have left Fallen Drift?
Every single one of them. A few here and there, not so. But the vast majority, yeah. Every single one of them.
And how did they find Solitude?
3 days, it seems. 3 days outside of the city at a certain distance. I have no idea what it is, but this is certainly far enough. But it's going to be 3 days of no sleep. And their health is going to fail. So you gotta feed them good, make sure that they're hydrated and keep warm. Their bodily functions just ain't gonna work all that well over the next 72.
I had a fear that, exactly that. There's some kind of tether between them and Fallen Drift, but why wouldn't it affect somebody like myself?
Well, as I said, it doesn't affect everyone. It's just the vast majority. There is something that some people, they understand the pull back to the city. It's like the city doesn't want you to leave, is how it's been described to me in the past.
I wonder if it's because I want nothing more than to leave the city. I've always had it deep within my soul, so that tether doesn't exist with me.
That's hard to say, friend. It's hard to say. By the way, I never got your names.
Oh, excuse me. I'm Shahid.
Nice to meet you. And you, Constable?
I'm Casper, and honestly, I don't believe I'm technically a constable anymore. Just sort of acting as one.
And upon saying that, not only do you remember being fired, you also remember not being fired.
It's a bit, it's like, imagine... I might be a constable. Yeah. It's hard. The things in Fallen Drift have gone, tits up, as it were.
As he listens to Casper, like nodding for a second, looks back at Shahid. That's the other thing that happens. Apparently, you hang around that city long enough, everyone forgets something.
Yeah, seemingly so. My comrades have had quite the number of episodes, which is one of the many reasons why we chose to flee.
Yeah.
But I must admit to you, there is a greater danger over the river.
What do you mean?
Well, the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. It seemed as if there was some form of hive mind taking over. Individuals were all in synchrony chasing us out. Quite literally.
All right, let me give you some friendly advice. Further down river, same bank, you're going to come across another little village. That thing has been destroyed. That was Bracklewhite.
Bracklewhite?
Bracklewhite, yeah. It used to be a fishing village. That's originally where I came from.
Okay.
And parents moved me up north and etc. Bracklewhite was a fairly decent village. but the kind of people that you're talking about came out of the city a number of years ago, went there, and something happened to it about 3 months ago. I'm not certain what, but prior to those, the whole village is destroyed. But what destroyed it, I don't know. But I can tell you that you've got some weird cult things going on out there in the city, and they come back. Well, a couple of them some time ago came into that village, started settling in, started making weird symbols all over the walls, swirling lines and circles and other intersecting patterns and other things like that.
Did one look like a exaggerated star?
No, I haven't seen anything like that, but I have a... Hold on, let me... This is... There's a couple that they draw, but this is one that they typically have.
Oh.
Kind of looks like a fishhook, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look like a fishhook.
Startlingly so.
So...
With intersecting lines, almost like cutting off the pathway to the... yeah.
I don't know what you mean by that, but sure. So,
well, I'm sorry. I work at a museum. My studies to look at iconography and to put together the past and patterns and such. So, yeah, my apologies.
Gotcha.
Is that a symbol that I recognize? Have I seen that anywhere?
Give me a history
Being
check with
somebody that
advantage.
did.
With advantage. All of
Oh,
those
no, because that's not a... no, I'll give it to you.
That would be a 21.
Without a doubt, you've not seen this.
Right, I've done my fair share of scrubbing graffiti off of walls, and I've never seen that in Fallen Drift, so that's something completely different than what we've been dealing with.
So, yeah, a couple of those cultists, or whatever the hell they are, they come out of the city, they start looking for villages or something along those lines, come down river. This one, Brackwhite, they ended up taking over some time ago. And then 3 months ago, something happened, completely wiped out the entire village. I had heard screams. There's sometimes when there's a nice cloud cover, but everything, them and the air is crisp, usually at the beginning of winter. You can hear what goes on in that village. It's some ways off, but you can hear it because there used to be lots of screaming at night. Usually about once every 3 months or so. A whole parade of screams just ringing right through the night air. It's enough to keep anybody awake. No, I went over there.
Interesting that it's once every 3 months.
I don't know why. Well, I went over there after a week or so after it all died down, go check it out, took a boat out and went down, go take a look. And they had a sacrificial pole set up near the shoreline, like a log that they had dug into a pit and then solidified with a rock base. And they used to strap some lad to it. And he looked pretty drugged up. And not much of him was left. Something came out of the water and got him. And apparently, when I went back after that, I didn't touch anything. I didn't go ashore. And then I went back there about 2 weeks after that, go check it out. Most of his body was gone, predators or scavengers and whatnot, of course. But his blood had been used to carve this, or rather to paint this symbol on what remained of whatever walls of another fishing shack, kind of like this one on the shoreline. So you come across a bloody hook like that, steer clear.
Interesting. And you said that they were pulled into the water by something?
I don't know.
Are you familiar with any kind of beasts or tentacled creatures that may be in these waters?
I've been I've been a fisherman all my life. I've not seen anything like this. Renault and Ophelia, every now and then there is a knocking on the earth near the shed, and then you can feel it pass underneath the shed, even to the point where your sleep is again completely disrupted. Ophelia, you feel the bed even rise as this thing presses its body up against the floorboards on which you now lay. Renault, your head is right next to the wooden wall, and you swear you see a finger, a long extended finger coming out and like coming closer and closer and closer to your eye.
Renault, you awake? Oh,
Yes. Yes, I am.
do you feel the thing underneath the ground?
Oh, but there's a finger in front of me.
Excellent. Can you punch me in the face? Maybe send me into a state of unconsciousness so that I could get some sleep.
Nope, not doing that. I'm nowhere near strong enough to succeed in such a feat.
Go away, finger.
I wish the same thing.
Would you like me to look after them? And Ethan just starts walking towards the thing and pulls the door all the way open. Are you two okay? Are you in distress?
No. Yes. There's
What she said.
there's a finger and
Right
a
here.
lump.
His eyes
These-
glow bright like two headlights, and it like floods the entire thing and takes it down.
All right.
I'm sorry, I don't see anything.
Of course not. Of course not. Did Casper send you?
No,
I think Casper kind of steps around Ethan and goes,
Right, listen. I just want to apologize. Listen, where I grew up, subtlety and tact were not exactly the most valued of traits.
They do this all the time.
Now, we've spoken with Fergus. Things are going to be rough for you two for the next few days. You're going to see things and hear things, and the grand takeaway of it all is you're not going to sleep for a few days.
Shahid walks up with like a piece of fish jerky in his mouth. Be honest with them. He said a minimum of 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days.
But during those 3 days, Shahid, Ethan, and I will ensure that you're safe, that you're looked after, and that you're cared for as best we can.
As well as Margarita and Mantle, of course.
Shahid, are you going to finish that piece of food that's in your mouth?
Give it.
He hands it over.
Oh, you're very gracious. Thank you.
There's more by the
Renault
fire.
is not paying attention to anything that's being said. He's chomping on this thing because he can't sleep and he's starving.
Ophelia's gonna take her planchette out from her pocket and hand it to Casper. Casper, do you see the pointy bit?
Yeah.
Take it. Impale right here.
Right.
I'll
I'm not
let
gonna
you.
do that.
Wrong. Oh, okay.
That's not happening. What I will do is I'll hold on to this so you don't go seeing anything that'll make things worse than they are right now. So he
Very well.
tucks it in a pocket.
In actually, before you tuck it into your pocket, in your head, Casper, I'm going to actually say just you look through it and see if you witness anything around them.
I think back, right, yeah. And then I try to make it look like I'm just like holding it up in front of me, but I look at Ophelia and Renault through the planchette.
You see Ophelia and Renault and the rest of the shed. Nothing unusual.
Yes. Right. I'll hold on to this for you.
And I think back at Shahid.
No, nothing.
Just then.
I turn and walk back towards the fire.
Yep. About 3 days. That's what they've got. Marguerite is stumbling her way to the shed and just flops over onto the cot next to Renault. And the two of you just kind of sidle up next to each other. But there is no sleep to be had for the three of you. Onyx Mantle, Onyx Mantle, wow. Onyx Mantle. We'll just call him Mantle. Mantle, he's... I don't know. I mean, I kind of see the things that they saw too, but it's not quite affecting me the way that's affecting them. I'm gonna try to catch some winks, but yeah, I might be able to do some things that'll able to assist after I get a good night's sleep. I'll try. Do you mind if I go inside?
No, not at all. Please.
Shahid, Ethan, and I can handle keeping an eye on things.
Right. Thank you. Rest well, all of you. And
You too.
he goes.
Casper, you should consider getting some rest as well, my friend.
I was, didn't want to take that liberty for myself. I was going to ask if I could catch a few hours before my first shift of watch.
I can assure you, I will not need rest. I will guarantee your safety throughout the night.
And I will keep our friend Ethan company as I do my meditative trance here. So please, my friend, like I said, you'll be fine. Mr. Fergus here and Ethan will be sure that, and I'm sure that we'll also protect Mr. Fergus as well for showing us kindness and hospitality.
Oh, absolutely. Sir, you are more than welcome to go to sleep if you wish. I'll go to sleep when I need to. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And he continues to turn some fish until finally everything is all settled. You guys have a nice campfire going. It's actually a cozy ambiance. There's a beautiful forest all around you, and you can see it seems to be a legit campsite and a legit guy for the first freaking time. Having said that, he seems to be also chock full of information, so feel free to carry on the conversation if you wish.
Casper is like he's falling asleep, but it's like propped up against a tree, like still by the campfire with his rapier like laid across his lap. Like he's sleeping, but it's not like he's shirking the responsibility of watching.
So, Fergus, these particular cultists that you were referencing, did they have any particular like colored attire that they'd wear? We did run into some that I believe wore some form of tawny or orange robes back in Fallen Drift.
There's a couple.
Similar?
There's a couple that I've seen. They've come over. A couple of them robbed me. Not many of them come out there wearing like any kind of like robes or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen what you're talking about, but that seems to be stuff that they've had in their boat, like folded up on a bench somewhere. I did manage to take down one guy. His backpack is hold on. He goes inside the shed. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, please.
Muddles about. Stepping over Ophelia and Renault. Sorry, guys, I'll be right with you. And that was adorable. Goes underneath a piece of furniture and pulls out an old backpack and brings it out. Brings it out to the fire. This is one of theirs. He opens it up and like pulls out a robe, and yeah, it looks very similar.
Oh yeah. Is there anything else that they had? Any other kind of iconography besides, of course, this the hook, or maybe any books that they may have had? Or
couldn't find anything in specific. They actually travel. They tend to travel light if they're part of the cult. Most people don't travel light. These folks do. It's like they have a destination that they're going to, and supplies are going to be there. This is pure speculation, because otherwise these idiots are never going to make it out here in the woods.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that they just kind of go out, and as opposed to, maybe trying to bolster their numbers, they're trying to diminish villages. Like, to what extent?
Just probably resettlement. Probably just like they did in Bracklewhite.
So you think that the cultists are now settled up in Bracklewhite? They're shacked up?
No. Bracklewhite is dead. No. Like I said, about 3 months or so ago, they moved in. 3 months ago, something happened in there, completely obliterated the village. chances are they moved on. There's some bodies and things like that still laying around.
You keep saying something happened. Is this because you don't know, or because you don't recall?
No, I have no idea. No, no, my memory is good. It's solid.
Okay.
But the things that took out that, it had the ability to run right through buildings. I have no idea what the hell that thing was. No footprints of any kind. No idea.
So it was just able to go right through objects.
Well, it's like they were made out of paper. If you take a look at the buildings, you're going to see the complete walls blown out. Many of them are just laying down. The roof then collapsed on top of that. Yet I don't see any marks, like scorch marks from explosions. There's no weirdness there. It just looks like somebody with a very large boulder just started throwing it at things. So I've been pretty much staying right here. I wish I had more information for you. I'm terribly sorry.
No. You gave me quite a number of useful tidbits to bring to my comrades once they wake up. I mean, do you think there is any other places of safe refuge west of here?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've got a couple of villages are further down the way, further down river, but I don't know. I don't really ever go down that way, and very rarely does anyone ever come up river. Every now and then I get some paddle boat will make its way up and head over to Fellendrift, but that's more the trade. That's the trade route, and they don't stop by me, so I don't get much news, and I'm sure as hell never going to step foot in that damn place. So the information I have is about this area. Now, there are a couple of times when some of these folk, when they come out, as I said, not all of them wear robes. I'm pretty certain those that have robes are part of some sort of official religion or something. I don't know. But there are others who are out there. They claim to see things that don't exist. They claim to be in touch with powers that only they can hear. I mean, that's what, and he points to the shed where your three friends are. That's the majority of the outcomes that they're going to experience. That they all of a sudden they're going to wake out of this, and or as they go through it, they're going to start hearing voices, and I have no idea if they're real or not, but I have never seen any proof of it. But I have seen proof of what they do to their bodies. They're going to waste away in 3 days' time. That's why I'm telling you, keep them fed, keep them watered.
Wow. Would you mind if we build up some provisions while we're here before we head out? Just to...
No, you guys are fair. You gave me 2 copper. No, you do whatever you need to. You can take the rest of the fish. I'm a good fisherman. I can catch them.
That would be great. And would you mind if I take that bag
No, I have no use for it. Get rid of this damn
storage?
Thing. Yeah. Do you need some other supplies? There's a couple of places up north, and you might be able to hit up.
Yeah. I mean, definitely something for like fishing and some tackle and such, and whatever we may need to like hunt or maybe start fire.
Yeah. I mean,
some flint and tinder. Yeah.
I only have that one thing that's mine, but so with respect, I'm not going to let you have that. But
no, that's fine. I mean, I'd studied that there was cultures that would take sticks and wood, make sure that they're dry, make bow drills and such. I'm pretty sure that the text, laid them out fairly well to mimic. So I'm pretty confident that I could replicate one of those.
Shouldn't be too difficult. There's another city, I believe. It's been a long time, but there should be another city further down, closer to the mouth of the river. If you're looking for supplies or something, you might head down there. There's also further north. It's a hell of a lot more dangerous, but it's also a hell of a lot closer than the mouth of the river. That's where you're going to find some of the villages. They have their own trade routes cutting through this area, but you got to be careful. You got to stay on the road, and you do not go into the forest alone, especially at night. There are things out here that you just don't want. You've got further north, you've got... There's a couple of giants up there. You're going to want to steer clear of them. You see any kind of collection of deer carcasses, bear carcasses, essentially carcasses of wildlife laying around without much of a care, and huge bites being taken out and their limbs ripped off. Yeah, you're in giant territory. You're going to want to stay out of that.
Good to know.
You're also going to find a couple of hunters around here, too, now that I think about it. I haven't seen them now in a couple of years. We had a couple of crew, folks like yourselves, 7 of you, come through this area on a mission. They didn't come out of Fallen Jet. They came out of, I don't even know where the hell they came out of. But they came through this area and cleared out a lot of the dangers that were in here, and supposedly settled further up north as well. One of them looking like you. Yeah.
Interesting. I haven't heard of many Midadil or any elves, for that matter, really coming this way.
Oh yeah, no, you got elves all up in the northern forest, but the majority of them are now inside of. I think there's even an elven settlement further north, closer to the foothills of the mountains. But yeah, you should be able to find some more of your folk around this area. I don't know what a mirrored is, but.
That's fine. Yeah, it just no worries. But yeah, so I should probably get some little bit of rest.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I tend to talk because we don't get a lot of visitors, so you know.
No. Would you mind if we pass through every once in a while just to make sure you're all right?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm able to.
Truly.
I'm able to feed myself, feed myself. Feed, yeah. I'm tired too. I'm gonna go to bed with you.
You got it.
And he like gets up, he cracks his back, and he looks over at Ethan. He's good. It's good. I go by he. He's good. He's looking right at Shahid.
Yeah.
All right. And he goes off, and everyone except for Ophelia, Renault, and Marguerite get a long rest.
Cool.
Awesome.
Love those spell slots for me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to be a rough call. However, this is now the beginning of day 2. I need everyone to make a con save DC 20.
You gotta. Oh boy.
No problem, boss.
I got a 20.
You lucky bitch.
18.
12, and I also forgot to put my glasses on. Put my contacts out.
Where the hell?
I don't know if you saw my chat message. I drank a whole bottle of wine.
Renault?
I gotta go back to D&B Beyond because I apparently lost it.
Where are my glasses?
Where are my glasses?
He can't see without his glasses.
I'm velmaing all over
Where's my
apartment.
glasses? Go climb trees, Thomas J.
I found them.
Save or save?
It's a con save, yeah.
Nope. 11.
Oof. Ophelia?
Yes.
You finally you get up. It's like you've not had any sleep whatsoever. You get up. It's going to be a rough day, but you take a look around. First off, when you step out, Fergus is he's sleeping like this on a wooden bench just alongside the shed, leaving the contents of the shed to you guys. Ethan is up around the fire and just seemingly staring at it, and like every now and then you see his finger trying to mimic what the flames can do.
Stop.
He's just
It's the cutest.
he's just, and when you come out, he kind of stands up and like looks at you and just waves hi.
Okay.
But
Oh, go ahead.
as you stand out, off to your left, there's a snap of twigs, and there's a
Okay.
What do you do?
I think with my 20, I'm completely jaded at this point. So as soon as I step out, I look around. I look down at Fergus. Okay, that's what you look like. I look over at Ethan. I don't know what you're doing. I hear the thing, and I'm just like, up. Like my hand up to it. I'm like, oh, hold on one moment. I'm gonna go down to the water, just lackadaisical, splashed on my face, kind of blink. No, that didn't work. Damn it. Okay, I'm still hearing things.
Well,
Great.
you look over in the forest and you see a deer that's walking and just stepping on a couple of twigs here and there. And you see a snake go through some underbrush and dead leaves near where you were standing.
I'm watching you, snake. And dear, don't think you're safe either. You've probably got 5 rows of teeth or something. I'm like grumbling under my breath. I'm going to flop down next to Ethan and just kind of like stare at him doing the finger thing. And that's my whole morning.
Okay, allow me to do something with Ophelia in a bit. Okay. Renault, no sleep for you. Shahid and Casper. The day hits, and it hits hard. You two, Shahid and Casper, got a good night's sleep, but you woke up and you swear you can smell fallen drift on the air. You understand that there is something over there to the east, and it is not comfortable, but it's a hell of a lot better than this place. You are in danger. You heard stories, Casper, you started having nightmares of giants like eating you alive, just you watching them rip your leg off of your body and just start like sucking the meat off of the bone. Shahid, you've had some nightmares. In fact, this is probably how you woke up after your long rest, not woke up, you were in a trance. There was some disturbance all around. You felt the ground. Something is out there. Knowing that this forest is dangerous, you almost want to go back to the city. You can feel the call of it. And Shahid and Casper, you're going to start enduring the same thing that they did. This is going to be 3 days worth of saves. Whenever you guys fail, this is what will happen. In order to be completely without it, you need to pass 3 times, and it does not need to be consecutive. So Shahid and Casper, you each have 1 under your belt. Ophelia, you now have 1 under your belt. Renault, you have 2 failures. So this is going to be bad. Alrighty. Having said that, what are you guys going to do? Ophelia, you are not conscious.
I'm not conscious?
You are not conscious.
Okay. Due to the trance?
No, it's due to Ethan sitting back down, you sitting next to him, you doing that, leaning up against him, and passing out.
Okay, so I am gonna get a long rest.
Yes, yeah, you are. Yeah, your body will catch up.
Cool.
I think waking up after having those like violent nightmares, like Casper probably like starts awake and like reaches towards his hip and just hits a like empty holster and goes, right, we need to buy or find or steal a gun. But then goes over and sits next to Ethan, like kind of like tries to like sees him trying to like mimic the fire with his fingers, and then kind of.
There's a pattern of the flame that you might be able to mimic, but I can't quite do it. The flames are simply too fast.
I got a fun one for you to practice in the meantime to help you get there.
Oh,
right?
What do you have?
Stick one thumb up. Stick one thumb up. Yeah. Put one finger out. Yeah. Now switch them.
Ethan is unconscious.
It's not as easy as it looks. Hey, you're doing it. There you go. Yeah. Takes practice.
You know, there's something interesting about this body. I know that it can do so much more. We saw what it can do to the warehouse. And you told me, and I believe I can remember this body doing something with the eyes and destroying a tremendous amount. And in fact, the armaments on this arm, I cannot control. I can't load them. I cannot reload them. It seems like I have a lot more learning to do. I'm not so certain I'm going to be of tremendous help to you, but I will certainly try.
Hey, well, self-discovery is it's a road we walk, not a goal we reach, yeah? Just keep working
That's
towards
very
it.
wise.
Hey, listen, I'm not as, compared to Renault and Shahid, I might not be the most, academically gifted, but,
Oh, speaking of, good morning, Shahid.
I've got a lot going on up here.
Morning. You guys feel those tremors last night?
There were no tremors that I was able to detect.
Fuck.
Odd.
All right.
What do I do with this one? He's
Which-
pointing at Ophelia, who's totally asleep.
Oh. Did she not wake? Wait, wasn't she inside the...
She woke up, came out here, started looking at my fingers as I was trying to imitate flames, and promptly fell asleep leaning up against me.
Maybe she was entranced by your dexterity?
I don't know, but I think I shall call this tutting.
Tutting, I like that.
I mean, she's sleeping. Let her get a rest, yeah?
Birgis finally, sorry, gets up. He's like, he just goes off into the woods, and there's like, he does business out there, comes out, puts his suspenders back up, buttons his pants. Would you guys like some breakfast?
Very much so, yeah.
Yes.
All right, hold on. I'll be back. He goes into the cabin, grabs some supplies, throws a satchel over his shoulder like a cloth bag that seems heavily padded. You see him go off, and he just disappears for like 20 minutes, comes back, and he's got these eggs, small blue ones and a couple of normal-looking ones and one very large one. Here, puts the satchel down next to the fire, goes inside, gets a pan, grease, and other stuff like that, some sort of lard, tosses it in there, and starts cooking up eggs for breakfast.
So, I was having conversations last night with Fergus. He was saying that at the mouth of this river, there's a city where we could pick up supplies. He said it's a pretty good start if we were gonna, for some reason, head deeper into these woods. I don't know if that's such a good idea anymore.
And also, up north, there's the villages up by the mountains, but then you can have to contend with everything in between.
Yeah, there's a village up north too, and there's a Bracklewhite, a fishing village that he's from.
But that was destroyed. Something.
Right. 3 months ago, there was something that happened there. Or
Right, but it could, it could still be worth looking at, yeah. There's always something you can learn from a scene of a crime.
I mean, you could try. Personally, I'd go down towards the city.
Yeah,
Probably your
I
best
think
bet.
I think that's a solid first step, yeah. Because whether we're going deeper into the woods, whether we're staying right here, or whether we're going back to Fallen Drift, we're gonna need provisions. Yeah. I left my gun back in the building that went up in flames, so I could use a new one. Obviously, we're going to need food, likely medicine.
Well, probably want to head out to, hell is it? Silstead. That's the city. Down at the mouth. It's going to take you about 5 days to get there from here at the speed of the river. But head out to Silstead. I don't know why you would ever want to go back to Volunteer, but that's not my care. So, you do you. If anything comes around this way, any more people or something like that, anything in particular you want me to look out for?
I would say if anything comes out of Fallen Drift, at this point, your best move is to stay in that cabin and to do your best to pretend you don't exist.
Well, I kind of
Or
have
actually get bullets for that gun.
Oh, yeah.
balls.
Right, yeah.
Excuse me?
Balls. That
Right,
gun
it
takes
doesn't-
balls.
Doesn't use cartridges.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Small balls, but more like grape shot.
I mean, I'm not here to judge the size of your balls. Whatever size is
Right, they're small, but there's a lot of them, yeah?
Exactly.
It's not necessarily
It's
the
not the
size
size
of them, but it's how
of
you
them,
use
it's how
it.
you use it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You get it.
No, I don't get when you're.
Clearly. Okay. So
It's alright, not everyone gets it.
I don't get most jokes. I'm sorry.
It's alright. They're not great
I just
jokes
don't get it
anyway.
often. So.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised to see some ripped humor from you, Mr. Shahid.
well, I travel. Yeah. I'm glad you appreciate it. That was pretty good, right?
Takes me back to my childhood, a place I don't often like to visit.
Yeah.
Listen, if you happen to go down to the city and if you happen to have some income, I mean, if you can get me a new rifle, because this thing, I haven't been able to shoot anything, and well, that thing's not gone off in quite some time, and I wouldn't mind it if I had something a little bit more sturdy and stable and stuff, if you don't mind. If you come across a new one, yeah.
All right. I mean, it's the least that we can do for your kindness.
Well, I'll pay you for it. Of course, I'll pay you for
Well,
it.
still, sure. Yeah. I mean, of course, yeah.
I'm going to be talking to a gunsmith anyway.
Oh,
I gesture to the empty holster and I go,
Feel a bit naked at the moment.
Don't we know Renault?
I mean, the way he works with things, I expect I'd ask him to make me a gun and I would get back something that looked like a cube of some sort that did sort of what I wanted to, but scared the ever-loving shit out of me every time I touched it.
speaking of Renault, what is Renault doing? He is conscious.
Yep, 100% conscious. He's probably in the shack freaking out right now because he hasn't been able to sleep properly, and he's like putting things together, he's taking them apart, he's re-guessing and reanalyzing everything that he could, babbling at Marguerite whenever she has her eyes open, trying to sleep as well, just
Oh yeah.
incoherent babbling.
Yeah, she's not doing well either. She's actually crying out of pain for not having slept. So
He's trying to distract her with, engineer talk.
the ground shakes. Trees begin moving out of the way. You can see.
Hold on, everybody. Hold tight.
Fergus is looking around. Ophelia, you're still sound asleep if you want to be.
Blissfully.
Casper, you heard that too. By the way, this is all on Sirenscape. If you guys aren't, I don't know if you have it up or not.
I won't
I
lie,
heard it.
I was doing a very quick Google.
Okay, well, either way, Renault heard it. Everyone pretty much reacts except for Ophelia, who is sound asleep. Fergus doesn't hear it. The dwarf doesn't hear it. Marguerite absolutely responds to it.
Like, no, you're fine. Everything's okay. Just focus on the analytics.
She's looking at you, and she's
numbers.
hyperventilating at this
the
point.
numbers. I know. Yes,
What?
the numbers.
What?
The world is
What?
collapsed. The world
What?
is
As he
collapsed.
tries to calm her, the door just bursts open. Did you feel the floor shaking?
I did feel the floor shaking. Do not bring attention to it right now.
What do you mean? The whole place is shaking.
You're focusing on
Casper comes in
What do you
right
mean
behind me and
relax?
goes,
Now's not the time to relax.
"Something's going on."
The world is shaking right now, Renault.
we can't-
All of you,
Oh,
stop! I do not sense anything pertaining to the ground as you are describing it. I fear you are now under the effects of the city as well.
How am I under the effects of this city? I hate that place.
I am sorry to have
Wow,
raised.
that's the first time I said that out loud.
all okay? They're gonna be fine. Eventually.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I would put ourselves as firmly not okay, but in the simplest glimpse of the present, yeah, we're all still moving forward. So.
3, 4, 1, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 7, 9, 3, 2, 8,
Well,
3, 8, 4, 6.
I grab Shahid and go,
If I see a giant, I'm jumping in the fucking river.
2, 7, 9.
I'm jumping right behind you. Are you kidding me? The entire crowd is shaking. You know it's
I
the
think it is
giant.
best if the forest represents so much danger to you that would calm our minds by getting back on the boat and continuing downriver. That might assist you, if that is okay with you.
Yep, I'm okay with this. Marguerite, would you like to come?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 1, 4, 5. 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 3, 5.
Yeah.
3,
Come on.
8, 9, 7, 9.
Third gears, thank you again. Until that path's crossed, my friend.
6, 9, 3, 3.
Be well.
5, 1, 0.
We'll meet again. 3 days. Just remember that. It's only 3 days. Make it. Stay hydrated.
Do you have shot for a gun if we get you one, or do you need shot as well?
Oh no, I need it all.
Alright, yeah. We'll do what we can.
0, 7, 8, 1, 6, 4.
All right. I'll see you all later.
Yeah, hopefully.
6, 0, 6, 6, 0, 8, 8, 7, 4. 7. Okay.
The entire shed begins to shake and shudder. Shahid, total alliteration. Shahid, Casper, and Renault, Marguerite. All four of you. You see it with every single stomp somewhere nearby from some invisible presence. You can feel it. You can smell the musk on the air. You can smell the stale, dead meat still clinging to various portions of its mouth or beard or something along those lines. Everyone makes it out to the boat. Ethan pushes it out and eventually hops in. You guys do make it back out there onto the river for the beginning of day 2. And that's when all of you see that thing in the water again. But for the rest of that, we'll pick that up next week.